Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Cancer. If Cancer is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so, our card tonight is the Ace of Cups. And let's go ahead and take a look and see what these tea leaves have to say tonight. And if you have not subscribed, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. And if you think about liking the video or leaving a comment, those things are so helpful as well. Okay, so immediately I'm seeing we have the name, it looks like S-U-E right here. So Sue. Maybe you know a Sue. Maybe you are a Sue. But it's a big one, big name there. And we'll see what this has to do with the greater reading, if anything at all. Sometimes the names are just there and it's like, okay, I don't exactly know who this is, but apparently the universe wants you to be aware of them. Right? They're coming through in some way. Okay, so we also have the crescent moon over here. So a lunar energy. We have a 2 and a 7, 27. It looks like we have another 2 right here. Okay, so I'm seeing a face right in here. We have an eye and an eye, a nose, a mouth. It's kind of hidden in here. It almost kind of feels like a reflection, almost kind of looking maybe into the water or into the window late at night and being reflected right back at yourself. But it feels distorted. I have this feeling that you're going through this period of time here where it just, things don't feel all together. They don't feel right. There's something, just kind of a nagging feeling of this doesn't feel complete, or it's not complete, just a sense of something being out of place or missing. And I feel like it's not a thing so much, a material thing. I don't even know that it's a very emotional thing, but it is just a feeling of something missing in your life. And I feel like you can't help but like be drawn back into this feeling over and over again. You go about your days and you do the things that you know you need to do. You check your calendar, you go by your routine, you do what you say you're gonna do. You're pretty good at not putting too many things off and completing your tasks. And so it almost is kind of that nagging feeling of there's something that's been missed here. What is it? Where is it, right? And I feel like it's, you look at yourself and there's a sense of not necessarily always recognizing who you are right now. But I think that, you know, part of this is change, getting older, you know, being busy with life and the things that maybe you had not planned for. You maybe kind of stumbled into aspects of your life, as we all do, right? And here you are kind of living these responsibilities that you've taken on willingly, right? But they still feel so foreign in some way. Sometimes I think you almost feel like a stranger in your own life. And I feel like right now, this is a period of time where you're unsettled. I also think that maybe you're kind of exhausted. I feel it. Just looking at this, I feel the sense of having so many things going on, and it does. I feel like, and I'm looking at this, I'm seeing this kind of little spiral here, and it just, I feel like there's this constant feeling of there's not enough hours in the day. I have so many things that I need to do, so many things that I would like to do, so many things I've been wishing I could do, and yet I can't find the time because there's just so much going on. And I feel, and I understand, I mean, we all understand, don't we? At some point or another, kind of getting lost in that current of stuff, things, events, meetings and bills and family and, you know, just nonstop. And so I feel like there are these moments where you kind of stop and look at yourself and you think, who is this? First of all, who is this person I'm looking at? And how did they get here? What is going on? Right? And so, you know, I think in some way, this is that kind of itch that we get when we know something has to be reconfigured. Something needs to be moved around here. Something has to change because it's not sustainable. It doesn't feel sustainable. Okay. And I see we have a person here standing, and there's a goose. Kind of, it feels, I mean, it looks like has its wings going. I would usually think, okay, this goose is absolutely attacking that person. Get out of there. That goose is going to get you. But I don't. I almost feel like it's kind of eating from the hand of this person. There is a kinship here. And I feel like there's a sense of, maybe this is a friendship with somebody who is very unlike yourself. This is a person that maybe is a little bit loud, a person that, you know, has kind of they're very emotive, and they don't hide their emotions well at all. You know, and there are these moments of high highs and maybe low lows, but it just feels I think, chaotic to you sometimes. But I think that you're drawn to it because it is such a change of pace for you. This is not how you live usually. You kind of, you know, have gone so far out of your way to make a life for yourself that is pretty chill, right? Pretty quiet most of the time. You have kind of just you go out in the world, you do your thing, you people, and maybe sometimes it's a little too people-y, and then you go home and you have your things that you know, are beloved to you. You have your people who are beloved to you, and you know, you spend whatever time you have left after all of the work and chores and all of these things. And you go and you spend your time with them, and it is pretty chill. But then there's this person, right? And I almost wonder, maybe they're at work, maybe they are kind of a friend that you see once in a while. This person comes around and really kind of, I mean, I just feel like it's like stirring things up. Not stirring the pot or whatever, not causing problems. But, you know, their life seems just so, they just have so much stuff going on, like different kind of stuff than you, right? Kind of like big dramas and little dramas and medium dramas. And if you don't see them for a while, you ask them, oh, how did this thing go? And they don't even remember, because they've had like 5 or 6 other big things happen recently. And you think, my goodness, how could you survive all of that? I mean, I would be exhausted. I'm already exhausted, and I don't deal with any of that. And so it is kind of a sense of life, right? Kind of amplified. And there's just something about this person that you really enjoy. And so, you know, I do feel, well, of course, it's important for us to know all sorts of people. We should, in our life, make friends with or be acquainted with as many kinds of people as we, and I mostly mean like emotional configurations, personality configurations, you know, different walks of life and so on. You know, so I feel that this is maybe a situation where I keep looking at this mountain. I feel like almost like there's something, it almost feels, it feels dire. Like to you it feels dire, to them maybe not so much. But they're going through it. And I feel like you want to show up for them. You want to be there. You want to support them. But I almost kind of wonder, like, there's a sense of, I can imagine sitting and talking about it and thinking, my goodness, why aren't you more worried about this? You know, yet like to you, it's like a big deal. To them, it's a big deal, but they just don't have the same kind of reaction as you. They're focused on things that seem frivolous. And so, you know, I feel like in a way, and you know, maybe this is not the takeaway, but this is what I'm kind of feeling here, is that when you're around this person, you enjoy their company because they're probably a pretty great person. Now, they also have just, you know, a lot of things happening and going on, and they kind of find their way into dramas. But it kind of reminds you how lucky you are for the, you know, the existence, the life you've built for yourself. And even though sometimes you feel like you are just living like a robot, going through the motions and, you know, never getting the rest that you really truly need. And there's always something to be done, and it just keeps going and going and going. You forget, right? Because you're so immersed in your own world, you forget how other people are out there living. And I feel like you feel lucky in these moments. You know, you look at this thing, this whatever it is that they're going through, it feels monumental. It feels like a quite a mountain to have to climb. And yet, you know, you get to go home and have a little bit of peace, right? Hopefully, a little bit. And so I think this is a reminder. This is really the universe telling you, hey, just remember, it could be way, way more chaotic, okay? There could be a lot of instability, but there's not here. Okay, there's a real sense of things not only being stable, but you also kind of achieving some of these larger goals that you have absolutely, you know, been working towards for years. Things that you never dreamt would even come close. And yet here you are within reach. Okay, and here we have, it looks like a person, they have their hand out. I see another person on a horse kind of moving forward. And I feel like there's this sense of kind of finding, you know, where you have been reaching and trying and attempting to get the motivation to kind of do these things that need to be done, that, you know, you just, maybe it's that you have been putting them off, or, you know, maybe they're not at the top of the priority list. But I think overall, once they get finished, you will start to be able to relax a little bit. And so I'm looking at this and I'm seeing kind of like getting on the horse and getting going, you know, moving forward in these projects. I kind of feel like this is at home. These are home projects. And just getting a little tedium done, right? Making those calls, making the appointments, following up, getting, you know, something paid, whatever it is. You know, and it hasn't seemed like the most important thing, but, you know, once it's off your plate, then it's like, okay, now I can, you know, maybe rest a little, maybe put a little of my time into something else. I don't know about you, and maybe this is because I'm a Virgo. I'm a Virgo with a Capricorn rising. So yeah, you can imagine, I have a list and I will obsess about things until they get done. And, you know, there's some things not so much, you know, whatever, we'll get it done. But other things, I can't stop thinking about it until it's finished. And I have ADHD, so it's taken a lifetime basically for me to figure out how to finish things from the beginning to the end. And I'm not always good at that. But now that I've kind of learned how to motivate myself to get things done, I obsess. And so when it's done and I can put it away and I can think, okay, now I can sleep pretty well. I'm not going to worry about that thing anymore. You know, and so I feel like you have this kind of, this energy coming through, and let's get these things done. Let's get it going. And here we go. Down here we have the fish. So I do think that getting this stuff done, allowing yourself to have the time to do whatever you do with your spare time whenever you have it, which I'm sure is not often, I can see you making some money. You know, how? I don't know. But I feel like it's maybe kind of like a side hustle. It's something that you've been working on, you know, maybe not as your day job. But this is maybe something that you have been trying to get going. So maybe at some point it will be the, you know, your main source of income. But you've had all the list. Your list has been growing and growing. And so you haven't had as much energy and motivation and the will to kind of spend time with this larger endeavor. And, you know, coming up soon, I think this is where you get back to that thing. And I think that there's definitely the energy of opportunity to make some money here. And so, you know, I think it is important that you kind of go through the process of closing out whatever you can, getting that stuff checked off, and finding room, space in your life so that you can apply yourself to these, you know, whatever creative endeavors, business endeavors, you know, whatever it might be. And yeah, with the fish, I know that's money. There's money coming in there, but it can't happen if you don't do the thing, right? Then we just kind of toil in this pile of stuff to get done. Oy, 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 oy. So we have a tree, we have a bat. We have a tree, we have a bat. We have a person with their arm, they're looking upwards, their arms are open. Okay? And here's the bat, here's the tree. We have a dog. Look at that. It looks like a rabid dog. Now, I think that as I'm doing this reading, we're at the tail end, and let me just look as I'm saying this, because I could be wrong. Tail end of this full moon. It's still a full moon, yes, technically. So we do have that kind of, you know, almost like a werewolf energy still. And you can see kind of rabid looking. And so I almost kind of feel like there is this movement into the night side, a sense of, you know, something stirring in you, where I feel like it's just on the edge of just absolutely letting it all out, right? And I wonder, you know, if this is, I don't know that it's an anger thing. I think people maybe experience your moments of being quite primal, uninhibited, as sometimes not being able to discern if you are angry or kind of in a very destructive posture. And I feel like that's difficult for you, because it's like, I think that you just really want to let loose in some way. But I think that it's almost, it's a thing that you like to do by yourself. And to be witnessed, it almost feels like an intrusion. And I think that it does make you kind of, you know, you get, I don't know, maybe a little snappy. Maybe there are movements of some anger, but it is a protective kind of thing, you know. It almost kind of, I think of, you know, like a child getting caught doing something or they're not supposed to be doing, and they get kind of mean, you know. angry because they're, you know, I don't know, they're embarrassed maybe. But I do feel there is just you know, I don't want people to see me like this. I only kind of, I only kind of exist in this way privately. And I do feel like this is why maybe you're drawn to this kind of lunar night side, because it is a shadowy place. It's a place that kind of hide within those dark places, and to kind of be able to relinquish the mask and the many masks that we wear. But I also feel like we have that tree, and it does look like it has something hanging from it, maybe some kind of fruit. So I feel like this really is kind of a place that you go, that absolutely, it feeds your soul. I just can't imagine a Cancer person always existing in the day side of things, in that kind of real solar energy, because there is a sense of needing to be unseen, to be able to kind of create on a deeper level. And so I feel you kind of really looking for your places to have these moments alone, without any kind of interruption. And maybe quite literally this has to be late at night. Maybe you have a family, and it's the only time you have, right? Where nobody's kind of asking you for something, or, talking to you or interrupting you, or sitting, in the same room as you're doing whatever you're doing. And so you wait for the nights that are available to you to kind of, to do this work. And what does this work look like? I don't know. Maybe you are creative, maybe you write, make music, or meditate, or, some kind of active imagination. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you get lost in film and listening to music, or going for long walks, or, whatever it is. But there's this sense of like shedding that mask, that human suit that you have to wear all day long. Now let's look over here. We also have, it looks like JJ. I see JJ right there. So maybe somebody named JJ as well. Okay, so we have a heart. We have a pyramid. We have a bird. We have a person sitting right there. I have this feeling of kind of like I'm looking for my power. I'm trying to return to my power. I know it's there, and I know it's accessible. But how do I get back to it? Because I feel like maybe kind of going off course a little bit and thinking you could turn it right back on, but it seems like it's been misplaced. And so we have the bird, and I feel like this is definitely a transitioned loved one, maybe a good friend. It almost feels like a good friend, kind of coming through, and I feel like there's a sense of stop looking. When you stop looking, you'll find it. Stop trying to force it. It will come to you. Also, it looks like this is maybe a Taurus person, this transition person, but they are, when I say transitioned, I mean somebody who has passed away from the material world. They are no longer in their physical form, at least as you know them. And maybe a Taurus person here, but there's a lot of love. And I think this is somebody that you listen to. There is just a wealth of trust and respect here. So I feel like this is kind of a sense of, yeah, when we go looking hard, I'm going to try all the things to get there. I'm going to do all the techniques. I'm going to, read all the books and enact all the rituals and that's a fun and wonderful and sometimes very a very fruitful way of going about things, but so often it's like this thing is so elusive. It slips through your fingers as soon as you think you see it and you look at it, you go to look and it's gone, and for some reason, these divine insights, these divine revelations, they like to be, kind of unattached to things. They come in their own time, and usually when you least expect it, right? And so, I do have this feeling. Stop trying to force it. Stop trying to force it. All right. So we have the Wild Bohemian affirmation cards, and these are the fire element. I'm going to go ahead and we'll just flip through real quick here. I'm going to stop where it feels right. And it says, I am infinite. You behold many talents. Allow them to fully bloom. Kindred spirits enfold you. Yes, there you go. Allow them to fully bloom. Yes, they will do as they do, right? Take patience. All right. Cancer, I'm going to go ahead and tell you I love you because I do, and I thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel so much. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming up. And it is free to subscribe. If you'd like to leave a comment, please do. I read them all and they mean the world to me. And other than that, I guess I think that's it. It's pretty much it for tonight. Aside from happy Passover for everyone who observes, and I love you and take care of yourself. We'll talk in just a few days. Good night.